Hello, my name is Mallory Cotton. My interest in this particular course stems from previous experience with substance use. 6 years ago, my uncle tragically passed away at the age of 28 as a result of prescription drug misuse. My maternal relatives, including my mother, continue to battle addiction to prescription drugs. Prior to the tragic loss of my uncle, I had worked at the local behavioral health unit where chemically dependent patients came for medically supervised detox. I have seen the devastation that comes from untreated substance use and have a lot of passion for treatment as a result. I recognize the growing need for treatment options and desire to be a part of the change toward acceptance of substance use treatment. The video assigned this week was thought-provoking. There were several portions of the video that struck me. The first involving the family and treatment, in which the father reported that he was having a hard time being sympathetic for his daughter because she is making the choice to use. I felt the doctor approached the topic in a respectful and professional manner. This demonstrated the vulnerability that substance use presents, not only in the user, but in the systems of which they are a part. Another lasting impression came in the form of the CT scan on the brain of the man who had been using methamphetamine. The vast difference between the pictures was frightening and an honest representation of the results that substance use can have on an individual. This video was a great introduction to the treatment of substance use. The assigned readings were in line with the video, being that they were insightful and intriguing. The 3 chapters assigned covered the nature of addiction, the history of addiction, and policies affecting addiction treatment. It is clear in reading the first chapter that the authors are passionate about advocacy for more funding for treatment centers. They emphasize the point that no matter the mode of treatment, the intervention must meet the client where they are, a theme that is common in social work. They also discuss the matter of addiction being a biological, psychological, sociological, and spiritual phenomenon, rather than simply being a series of poor choices made by an individual, as is often the assumption. The second chapter regarding the history of addiction and treatment provided a comprehensive review of substances throughout history. The authors cite the fact that human beings have always sought a way to seek refuge through the means available to them. The chapter was very interesting as it first demonstrated why some substances were utilized out of necessity, like alcohol being safer than water for drinking, then addressing the progression from one substance to another based on the political climate and social acceptability. This chapter demonstrated the progression of substance use and addiction throughout the ages and emphasized the point that it will continue to evolve. The final assigned chapter addressed policies affecting substance use treatment. The authors highlighted the positive policies that are in play, including increased funding to prevention and treatment of substance use through various avenues such as drug courts, methadone clinics, and other educational opportunities. They also addressed the impact of criminalization and the focus on punishing the substance users over providing treatment to avoid further use and associated criminal acts. The authors ended the chapter with urging to advocate for harm reduction practices. I believe the role of drugs in our society is the same as it always has been, a way for individuals to seek refuge from their feelings. We are living in times where it is important to be successful, something that is not attainable for everyone for various reasons. No matter the reasons, if you feel like you have nothing to lose and think you may feel better, even just for a moment, by using drugs or alcohol, then why wouldn't you? Sadly, I feel like drug use is becoming far too prevalent in our society. I currently work in a hospital and complete my practicum in the emergency department of that hospital. I am saddened to see the sheer amount of substance use that comes through the doors. Substance use does not discriminate based on age, where I've personally seen 12-year-olds and even 75-year-olds who are in the emergency department for issues related to substance use. With limited funding and treatment options available, often people come through the emergency department multiple times before they reach the point where they are ready to truly pursue treatment. I have seen firsthand that it is imperative that we advocate for change in policy regarding substance use treatment. When asked if I think that drugs are good or bad, I struggle to be so black and white. I believe that most drugs have benefits when used appropriately. Take marijuana, for instance. I recently watched a video of a man with Parkinson's before and after ingesting THC, and the difference was incredible. Where he was barely able to sit still long enough to tie his shoes, after taking or ingesting the substance, he was able to sit peacefully and was visibly relieved to not be shaking so badly. The one drug that I have yet to find a benefit of is methamphetamine. Here in southern Idaho, meth use is out of control. In my time working at Health and Welfare, I was shocked by the sheer amount of cases involving meth where the parents in the case chose the drug over their children. It is ruining lives and families and can be found everywhere, even across the street from my house, where I'm absolutely certain the drug is being dealt. I live in a pretty nice neighborhood too, by the way. Meth prevention programs have become a necessity and will only become more prevalent as time goes on. I believe society does contribute to addiction problems because too often it avoids addressing the true issues. Substance use has been a hot-button issue for years, yet we see politicians who vote to decrease funding to treatment as they don't understand the gravity of the current situation. Until our society can stop ignoring the problem and actually put their full effort toward a solution, then we are bound to continue down this same path of increased substance use and the repercussions associated. My view of addiction is that it is a disease that can be influenced by genetics. I have heard many doctors explain to patients who are addicted to substances that addiction is no less real than any medical condition, such as cancer. It must be treated, and the treatment must be maintained. When working with patients who are chemically dependent, I often find myself questioning their decisions in a judgmental manner. I have to remind myself that I do not know the journey that they have taken, and that if it were that easy, they would be clean and sober and living a completely different life. I have compassion for those who are in the throes of addiction and hope to make a difference in the substance use community throughout my career as a social worker. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.